We have a Tea Party patriot who is a first-time candidate running for state representative in the 21st District just north of Seattle. Way to go, Seattle. She believes government's role is to protect life, liberty, and property for the people. During her 2 years in China and 3 years in the Middle East, she witnessed firsthand what happens when government is all-powerful. A wife, mother, and teacher, she knows the importance of fighting for a strong and prosperous America. Let's give a huge welcome for Elizabeth Scott.
Hello, friends and neighbors. I'd like to take a quick moment to have the representatives and senators who are standing here in the rain, please raise your hand so we can see that you're here. Who's a representative and senator here? Great, thank you so much for coming out. We are the sovereigns of Washington State and this great nation. It's 2010 and our liberty hangs in the balance. As Ronald Reagan said, you and I are told that we must choose between a left or right, but I suggest that there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Up to man's age-old dream, the maximum of individual freedom consistent with order, or down to the ant heap of totalitarianism.
Yeah.
Do you know what in Article 1, Section 8 of the Washington State Constitution says about the origin of political power?
Yep.
All political power is inherent in the people. Say it with me. All political power is inherent in the people. My name's Elizabeth Scott, and I'm running for state rep in the 21st Legislative District, which includes all of Mukilteo and parts of Edmonds, Linwood, Mount Lake Terrace, and Everett. I'm running because these good legislators need reinforcements.
Yeah.
Many of our elected representatives have either forgotten or they're deliberately ignoring the fact that their political power is a temporary short-term loan from us.
That's right.
We loan it to them with the understanding that they will protect our life, liberty, and property so that we can get on about our lives, raising our families in a safe environment and doing business to increase our wealth and prosperity and leave our children with a better, stronger America than the one we inherited. Thank you for coming out today to encourage your state legislators to support House Joint Memorial 4009. This memorial reminds the federal government that their constitutional duties are described in detail in Article 1, Section 8 of our U.S. Constitution. Only about 20 tasks are given to the federal government to handle: the military, prosecution of piracy on the seas, immigration and naturalization laws, and so on. Just to be certain that this list would not grow, how about that one? Just to be certain that this list would not grow, our founding fathers added the 10th Amendment, which says, as Senator Stevens reminded us, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the
People.
Our founders knew that government is similar to kudzu in the South or blackberries in Washington. It's naturally invasive, and it needs to be cut back from time to time at both the state and federal level. And now is that time.
Yeah.
Does the government have the constitutional right to force you to purchase health insurance?
No.
Does the government have the constitutional right to tell you how much money you can make?
No.
Do they have the right to tell you how much energy you can use in your home?
No.
I have already lived under those very laws. In 1989, I traveled to communist China to teach English as a second language to college students. Yes, my health care was covered for those 2 years. but the embassy warned us to bring our own needles with us everywhere we went because Chinese hospitals reused their needles to cut costs. And when I visited a hospital to get some mandatory immunizations, I saw people lying on straw mats on the concrete floor in the dirty hallway waiting for a bed to open up. Yes, energy to heat our little dorm rooms was covered by the government from November 15th to March 15th. If it snowed in early November or late March, well, too bad. And that free heat was only for the northern provinces. Not to mention, the electricity was turned off in the dorms at 11 o'clock so the students stood outside under the street lamps to study. After 2 years in China and 3 years in the Middle East, I do not want the government standing between me and my children's doctor.
Yeah.
I do not want the government in charge of my family's energy usage. I do not want the government controlling the private economy of the United States of America. This 10th Amendment bill will tell Washington, D.C. to back off. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been doing a fantastic job this past year putting pressure on D.C. with your phone calls, your faxes, your emails, and your tea parties. Keep up the terrific work, but I must warn you, legislation introduced right here in this building is even worse than what Congress has proposed. And you must pay attention or your liberty will be stolen. A state cap-and-trade bill proposed last spring, House Bill 1819, would have made the federal version look like child's play. Keep an eye out for similar bills this year. And apparently, it's not bad enough that we worked until August 17th last year just to pay our taxes and fees. And I love this sign over here that says, fee, fi, fo, fum, fees or taxes, we're not dumb. That was a full month longer than we spent in 2008 paying our taxes and fees. Our governor says she didn't increase taxes last year, but Evergreen Freedom Foundation revealed that new state and local taxes and fees last year totaled $590 million. That's right. Can the chains grow tighter this year? A bill for a state income tax on individuals and businesses, Senate Bill 6250, was pre-filed last week, even before the legislative session began on Monday, and it's already had its first reading. Where does it stop? We the people voted 3 times to require a 2/3 majority vote in both houses before taxes can be raised. But the majority party plans to go against our expressed wishes and change the requirement to a 50% plus 1 vote. That's right. What a slap in the face to we, the sovereigns. It's outrageous that yesterday Representative Shays' House Bill 2669, the Washington State Health Care Freedom Act of 2010, was voted down. 58 liberty-stealing politicians, including my opponent, voted to fine you or put you in jail for not having health insurance. In my district, voters will have a clear choice between a well-meaning politician who thinks big government is the answer or a citizen legislator who says, "Show me the Constitution." These policies are killing jobs and chasing businesses away from our beautiful state. Businesses like Boeing, which employs 1 out of 7 workers in Snohomish County, my county. Just last week, I had coffee with a real estate agent who told me about the many out-of-state business owners who've contacted him over the years for him to help find homes for their employees. But then they later tell him, scratch that, we've decided not to relocate our business